Gaius Julius Caesar, a name synonymous with power, ambition, and ultimately tragedy. Born in 100 BC, Caesar entered a Rome already groaning under its own weight. His family, though aristocratic, was not particularly wealthy. Yet, young Caesar possessed a keen intellect and a burning ambition that whispered greatness. From a young age, Caesar witnessed the machinations of Roman politics. His aunt Julia was married to the powerful general Marius. This connection exposed Caesar to the world of military and political power. He excelled in rhetoric and oratory, skills essential for success in Roman public life. His ambition would lead him to conquer vast territories, reshape the Roman Republic, and leave an indelible mark on history. Caesar's early life was not without its share of adventure and danger. In 75 BC, while sailing the Aegean Sea, he was captured by pirates. These were no ordinary criminals. They were bold and ruthless, demanding a hefty ransom for his release. Caesar, unfazed, supposedly charmed his captors with his wit and charisma. True to his word, after securing his release, Caesar assembled a fleet, tracked down the pirates, and had them executed. This daring act showcased Caesar's audacity and his unwavering resolve. Returning to Rome, Caesar navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics. He served as a military tribune, gaining valuable military experience. He formed alliances with powerful figures like Pompey the Great and Marcus Licinius Crassus. This first triumvirate would dominate Roman politics and pave the way for Caesar's rise to the top. In 59 BC, Caesar secured the governorship of Gaul, a region encompassing modern-day France and parts of neighboring countries. This was a pivotal moment in his career. Gaul, with its fierce tribes and vast territories, presented both a challenge and an opportunity for the ambitious Roman. Caesar's campaigns in Gaul, meticulously documented in his own commentaries, are a testament to his military genius. He outmaneuvered his enemies, subdued rebellious tribes, and expanded Roman territory. Caesar's victories in Gaul, culminating in the decisive Battle of Alesia in 52 BC, made him a hero in Rome. His legions were fiercely loyal, bound to him by their victories and his charisma. He returned to Rome a conquering hero, his name on everyone's lips. But his growing power and popularity made him a threat to the established order, particularly to his former ally, Pompey. The stage was set for a clash of titans, a conflict that would decide the fate of Rome. The year was 49 BC. Rome stood on the brink of civil war. The Senate, fearing Caesar's growing power, ordered him to disband his legions and return to Rome as a private citizen. For Caesar, this was an unacceptable demand, a humiliation that would effectively strip him of his power and leave him vulnerable to his enemies. Faced with this ultimatum, Caesar made a fateful decision. He gathered his loyal legions and marched on Rome, crossing the Rubicon River, the boundary between Gaul and Italy. This act was tantamount to a declaration of war, a direct challenge to the authority of the Senate and to Pompey, who had sided with them. The die is cast, Caesar is said to have declared as his legions forded the river. With those words, he committed himself and his legions to a path that would lead to civil war, bloodshed, and the ultimate transformation of Rome from a republic to an empire. Pompey, caught off guard by Caesar's swift advance, fled to Greece, seeking to raise an army to counter Caesar's forces. Section 5, Master of Rome, Caesar's dictatorship and reforms. Caesar emerged victorious from the civil war. His military genius and the loyalty of his legions proved too much for Pompey and his supporters. With Pompey defeated and the Senate cowed, Caesar stood as the undisputed master of Rome. He was appointed dictator for life, a position that granted him unprecedented power. But Caesar was not content with simply being a conqueror. He was a visionary leader, acutely aware of the problems plaguing the Roman Republic. As dictator, he set out to implement a series of reforms aimed at addressing these issues and restoring order to the Roman world. He reformed the calendar, introducing the Julian calendar, a system still in use today with minor modifications. He granted Roman citizenship to people in conquered territories, expanding the reach and influence of Roman law and culture. Caesar's reforms were not universally welcomed, with some viewing them as the seeds of tyranny. Section 6. The Ides of March, Seeds of Conspiracy. As Caesar consolidated his power and implemented his reforms, resentment simmered beneath the surface. His enemies, many of whom had once been his friends and allies, whispered of tyranny and plotted his downfall. They feared his ambition, his popularity with the people, and his disregard for the traditional power structures of the Republic. The Senate, once the seat of Roman power, had been effectively sidelined by Caesar's dictatorship. Senators, jealous of their lost power and influence, began to see Caesar as a threat to the very existence of the Republic. Leading the conspiracy against Caesar were Gaius Cassius and Marcus Junius Brutus, both of whom had once been Caesar's close allies. Cassius, driven by envy and ambition, resented Caesar's power and influence. Brutus, idealistic and principled, believed that Caesar's ambition posed a threat to the Republic he swore to uphold. The conspirators, calling themselves the liberatores, believed they were acting in the best interests of Rome. Section 7. Betrayal at the Senate, Caesar's Final Moments. The Ides of March, March 15th on the Roman calendar, dawned like any other day. Unaware of the plot against him, Caesar went about his business. He had been warned by soothsayers to beware the Ides of March, but he dismissed these warnings as the ramblings of superstitious minds. On that fateful day, Caesar was scheduled to address the Senate. As he entered the Senate chamber, he was surrounded by a group of senators, including those who had conspired against him. They pressed close to him, feigning respect and concern, while concealing daggers beneath their togas. As Caesar stood before the Senate, one of the conspirators, Julius Caesar, approached him, pretending to plead for his exiled brother's return. When Caesar dismissed his plea, Caesar grabbed his toga and pulled it down, a signal for the attack to begin. Daggers flashed as the conspirators lunged at Caesar, stabbing him repeatedly. Section 8. Legacy of the Caesar, the Rise of an Empire. Caesar's assassination sent shockwaves through Rome. The conspirators, believing they had saved the Republic, were met with fear and uncertainty. They misjudged the people who saw in Caesar a strong leader. Caesar's death plunged Rome into civil war. Mark Antony and Octavian rallied supporters and waged war. The liberatores, defeated, met their ends in various ways. Out of chaos emerged the Roman Empire, with Octavian as Augustus. Section 9. The Cult of Caesar, from Man to Myth. In the aftermath of his death, Caesar's image was carefully cultivated by his successors. Octavian, eager to legitimize his own claim to power, promoted the cult of Caesar, elevating his adoptive father to the status of a god. Temples were erected in his honor, and sacrifices were offered to him as Divus Julius, the divine Julius. The cult of Caesar served a dual purpose. It helped to legitimize the rule of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. The imperial family descended from Caesar. It also helped to unite the Roman people under a common figurehead, a symbol of Roman power and glory. Caesar's image, emblazoned on coins, statues, and public monuments, became ubiquitous throughout the Roman Empire. The title Caesar itself became a title of power, adopted by Roman emperors and later by rulers throughout history, from the German Kaiser to the Russian Tsar. Caesar's transformation from a man to a myth was complete. Section 10. Caesar's enduring impact echoes through time. Even today, more than 2,000 years after his death, Julius Caesar continues to fascinate and inspire. His life and career, marked by ambition, brilliance, and tragedy, continue to be studied and debated. Caesar's impact on Western civilization is undeniable. His military conquests spread Roman law, language, and culture throughout Europe. His political reforms laid the foundation for the Roman Empire. Caesar's name is synonymous with leadership and ambition. His story serves as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration. Julius Caesar was a man of contradictions, a brilliant general and a shrewd politician. His life and legacy continue to captivate our imagination.